Stanton and I'm an aeromodeller and an engineer. Join me on a fascinating journey where I show you some of the techniques used in scale aeromodelling. Okay, as you can see in the last video, I've just quickly covered the tail surfaces. I tried to use the silver tissue paper that I've got, and because it's not porous, I can't apply it the way I normally do, so I've abandoned it. You know, I don't want to learn a new technique. I'll rather do things the way I've done them in the past. So as you can see, I've covered the elevator halves, the fin and the rudder, and the tailplane. And a minor problem with the tailplane, and if you're doing a similar sort of model, please bear this in mind because I overlooked it. That trailing edge there is 1/16 by 1/8 thick, and 1/16 is not strong enough, it's not thick enough to handle the shrinkage of the tissue. As you can see, it's scalloped a little bit. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'll lose points over that, but I'm not going to worry about it. What I should do is take the tissue off and lay in a 1/8 by 1/8 rear trailing edge that that won't shrink. What I'm going to attempt to do to stop this shrinking any further, because this is just shrunk with water. It's not shrunk with anything else. It's just water. To stop it shrinking any further, which would happen if I applied even a low shrink dope, it would get worse. So what I'm going to use is banana oil. Now, banana oil, I'm not really sure what the exact chemical constituents are of banana oil. You can Google it, but I've never really found a satisfactory answer. But the net result is that it doesn't shrink. It's like dope, but doesn't shrink, and it's still cellulose based. So I'm not sure whether banana oil is just a non-shrinking dope. I don't know, but that's what I'm going to put on this, is banana oil, so that I don't let it shrink any further. The real, the pre-flight guys that really know their stuff and do this all the time, they pre-shrink their tissue and they lay it out on a frame and spray it with water to shrink it, so that all the shrinkage has happened before they apply it. I don't do it that way, simply because this is the way I've done it since the beginning of time. Since I was 7 years old, I've done it this way. I apply it wet, as you saw in the first part of the video, and the water just sort of holds it against the framework while I go around the edge and just tack it with dope. You can see that the edges have gone white. This is where the water was in the tissue and it reacts with the dope to cause a blooming type effect. The next coats of whatever you put on, whether it be dope or banana oil, will soften those out, and because it's now dry, it'll dry clear. So not to worry. So what I'm going to show you in this next section is the wing. I'm going to move on to do the wing. It's all been sanded nice and smooth. All the leading edges have all been done, which I'm not sure whether I showed you on that previous video, but they're all done. The whole airframe, or the whole wing, is given a light sanding with 600 grit, and then the whole thing was coated in a sanding sealer, which is effectively dope with, I mix in it some talcum powder, and you mix it so that when it goes on and dries, it leaves just a little bit of a rough finish, and then when you sand it again with 600, it becomes really smooth and it's lovely. The other thing it does is it seals the wood so that when you put the tissue on wet, the grain doesn't stick up because of the water. It seals it down so it lies nice and flush. So that's the idea. So in this next video, I'll just let the camera roll. I'll try not to talk. Very difficult for me. And we'll tissue this. I'm going to tissue it in 3 sections on top, small section for the middle, and then the 2 outer panels. And then on the underside, probably 3 sections again, but I might actually be able to do it in just 2 and join it at the middle here. We'll see how it goes. All right, enjoy. And there we go, that's the upper surface of the wing covered. Now, I'm not very happy with this tissue at all. It's a closer weave than the stuff I've usually used. The stuff I've got, or I usually use, is a light span, and it's very porous. So when I put dope on the edges, as you saw when I did the center section, it just stuck down, and that was perfect. That's exactly what you want. This stuff didn't. Because it's not quite so porous, and the weave is not quite so open, the dope's not going through into the wood. It's just sitting on the top. So as you saw, I was really struggling with the trailing edges where they were just lifting back off again. And what I had to do was actually go underneath the tissue and actually dope the frame, the airframe, and then stick the tissue down onto it, which is not a really nice way of doing it. And you can see it's meant I've got quite a few wrinkles at the wingtips, which is kind of inevitable with wingtips, but I still pride myself on getting those better than that. And it's down to this tissue. It will take less dope to fill the weave because the weave is quite fine. So it'll take less dope to fill it, and it'll also probably take less paint to cover it, I'm hoping. So whether I persevere with the white or go back to the light span, you can see the difference between the two. I don't know. The jury's still open on that. This is probably lighter. So I'm tempted to persevere with this, even though it's not producing quite such a nice finish as I would like. Okay, so there we go. I shall continue with the rest of this and probably stop this video at this point because I think you've seen enough tissue and doping to last a lifetime. All right, if you've enjoyed the video, click like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.